तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste, my dear friends. I am going to start videos on a wonderful Vedanta treatise called Sri Sadananda's Vedanta Sara. Vedanta is described in detail in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras and Upanishads. Sri Sadananda Yogendra Saraswati has written a wonderful book on Vedanta. So, Sri Sadananda Yogendra Saraswati, or he is familiarly known Sadananda, the author belongs to one of the 10 distinguished orders of sannyasis, monks of Shankara's school. The Saraswati order has the reputation of having produced some of the most eminent Vedantic scholars like Madhusudana Saraswati, author of the Advaita Siddhi, and the Brahmananda Saraswati, author of Brahmanandiyam. Sadananda's guru was Advayananda Saraswati, and his disciple Krishnananda Saraswati, whose disciple Nrsimha Saraswati was the author of the commentary Subodhini, which is said to have been written in the Saka year 1510 or 1588 AD. Sadananda must have therefore lived prior to this date, and the latest author whom he refers to in his Vedanta Sara being Vidyarnya, who died in the 1386 AD. Sadananda must have lived somewhere about the middle of the 15th century. Vedanta Sara, or the essence of Vedanta, is but an introduction to the standard works such as those of Gaudapada, Sankara, Padmapada, Hastmalka, Sureshwaracharya, Sarvagyanamamuni, Vachaspati Misra, Sri Harsha, Chit Sukhacharya, and Vidyarnya, to all of which the author has made references in his book. Vedanta is presented in the Upanishads and by such authors as are mentioned above in various ways, so as to suit different levels of understanding and different temperamental attitudes among seekers of truth. This treatise adopts the orthodox method which has always appealed to the largest number. After explaining the kind of moral and mental discipline needed for the pursuit of the highest truth, the work starts with the Shruti, Vedic statement that the individual soul and Brahma are identical as taught by the formula thou art that. Our not being aware of this truth is due to an innate nescience or ignorance, the nature of which is also explained in the exposition of the doctrine of avidya, ignorance. Its universal and individual aspects are dealt with, the world being its effect. An inquiry into the origin and nature of the world is made, wherein the question of the distinction between body and soul is dealt with at some length. Here the theories of other schools such as materialism, atomism, realism, and idealism, as of the Buddhist, are criticized. The next point considered is the method of interpretation of the Vedic propositions such as thou art that and I am Brahma, which is indispensable for a correct understanding of the Shruti or scriptural revelations. But the most important feature of Vedanta consists in putting the knowledge of the truth to the test in one's own life. For this purpose, yogic practices are inculcated. Then comes a description of Jivan Mukti, that is, the life of the enlightened man on earth, which is characterized by absolute selflessness and the highest morality. Apart from the explanations given in the notes of whatever may be found to be difficult of comprehension by the beginner, a few words may be said here with regard to Maya or Avidya. Avidya or ignorance is generally mistaken for want or negation of knowledge and a passive attitude. But as it had been pointed out in this work, ignorance or nescience is a combination of a negative and a positive, a passive and an active feature. The negative is that which hides the reality from us, and the positive is that which presents the manifold world. Maya, in the latter case, is called Shakti, power, Maya, and Avidya are generally used synonymously, though Maya is sometimes said to be the ignorance of Isvara, the creator of this world, and Avidya to be the ignorance of Jiva or the individual soul. Avidya is also said to be a comprehensive term including Maya in it. The latter is associated with its effect, the world of name and form. From this standpoint of cause and effect, Maya is an undoubted fact of experience which makes us endlessly pursue the cause of phenomena which cause we never attain. This is the most evident aspect of Maya, but the thirst for a cause ceases when we attain the truth or highest knowledge. The one aim of Vedanta, therefore, is the eradication of Maya or avidya, ignorance. Another important point which should be borne in mind is that so long as the knowledge of Brahma is sought with the help of Shruti, revelation, and yoga, a guru or an entitled teacher is an indispensable necessity. For in the absence of confirmation by a knower of the truth, we can never know whether our interpretation of the words of Shruti is correct or whether the experiences we gain by yogic practices have led us right, right to the final goal. Hence, we find that all those who approach the study of Vedanta in the orthodox way invariably invoke the help and the blessings of the Guru. This translation aims at being as literal as possible, even at the sacrifice at times of literary grace. The absence of exact equivalents in English has unavoidably resulted in some imperfection, but the book is published with the hope that whenever doubts in respect of the translation arise, the notes will help to remove them and that the original itself will also be of use to the reader in his attempt to get a general grasp of the system, the development of which will ever remain the glory of India and the pursuit of which will be the best means of bringing the greatest happiness to mankind. Vedant Sara. Now the main treatise starts, stanza number 1. Akhandam Satchidanandam Vangmen Agocharam Atmanam Akhil Dharam Asrame Bhist Siddhaye. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all for the attainment of my cherished desire. I, first, self. It means here the highest self or the Paramatman. The word Atma is also used to denote the individual self or Jiva, which is in a sense is identical with Brahma too. Substratum of all. Yatova imani bhutani jayante, that from which have evolved all these beings, etc. This is from Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, stanza number 1. 3. Cherished desire. The summum bonum, or it may mean the fulfillment of the particular desire of the author with the right expounding of the subject according to the scriptures. Stanza number 2. अर्थतोप्यदवा आनंद ती द्वैत भानतः गुरु नाराध्य वेदांत सारम वक्षे यथामति. Having worshipped the Guru, who on account of his being free from the illusion of duality justifies the meaning of his name Advaya Ananda, I undertake the task of expounding the essence of the Vedanta according to my light. Advayananda was the preceptor of Sadananda, justifies, etc. The name of the spiritual guide of the author is Advayananda, which literally means the embodiment of unity and bliss. The Guru fully justified the name on account of his highest realization. The word also signifies Brahma. Thus, by this couplet, the author salutes both Brahma and his Guru. Stanza number 3. Vedanto Namo Upanishad Parmanam Tadupkarini Sadirak Sutradini Cha. Vedanta is the evidence of the Upanishads as well as the Saririka Sutras and other books that help in the correct expounding of its meaning. Vedanta, literally means the concluding portion of the Vedas. The real meaning is the best or the philosophical portion of the Vedas. Evidence. The Sanskrit word Pramana literally means the instrument of Prama or knowledge. The Vedanta philosophy acknowledges the following 6 classes of evidence. A. Pratyaksha, direct perception. B. Anumana, inference. C. Upamana, analogy. D. Shabda, scriptural statement. E. Arthapatti, presumption. F. Anuplabdhi, privation. The evidence furnished by the Upanishads falls under the Shabda Pramana. 3. Saririka Sutras. Literally the words signify the body of aphorisms by Badrayana which rightly determine the nature of the embodied self. 4th, other books, the commentaries on the Upanishads and the Gita, etc. Stanza number 4. अस्य वेदांत परखरणत्वात् तदीयः एव अनुबंधहि तद्वत्ता सिद्धे नेते पृथगालोचनीय. On account of its being a Parkarna treatise of the Vedanta, the Anubandhas, preliminary questions of the latter, serve its purpose as well. Therefore, they need not be discussed separately. 1. It's the Vedanta Sara. 2. Parkarna treatise, a book which being connected with a particular part of a scripture serves a special purpose of it. 3. Anubandhaj. See next para. 5. Fifth stanza. तत्र अनुबंधो नाम अधिकारी विषय संबंध परियोजनानि. The preliminary questions of the Vedanta are the determination of the competency of the student, the subject matter, its connection with the book, and the necessity of its study. Every Hindu scripture deals with these four questions at the very outset. Stanza number 6. अधिकारी तू विविध वदधीत वेद वेदांग त्वेना पाततोद्धि गता अखिल वेदार्थो अस्मिन् जन्मनि जन्मांतरे वा काम्ये निषिद्ध वर्जन पुरस्सरम नित्यै नैमित्ति प्रापश्चित्तोपासना अनुष्ठानेन निर्गत निखिल कल्म सत्या नितांत निर्मल स्वांत साधन चतुष्ट संपन्न प्रमाता. The competent student is an aspirant who by studying in accordance with the prescribed method, the Vedas and the Vedangas, the books auxiliary to the Vedas, has obtained a general comprehension of the entire Vedas, who being absolved from all sins in this or in a previous birth by the avoidance of the actions known as kamya, rites performed with a view to attaining a desired object, and nisiddha, those forbidden in the scriptures, and by the performance of actions called nitya, daily obligatory rites, and naimittika, obligatory on special occasions, as well as by penance and devotion, has become entirely pure in mind, and who has adopted the four sadhanas or means to the attainment of spiritual knowledge. 1. Student. It is connected with Pramata, the last word of the text. By Paramata, aspirant is meant the man who is infallible in scriptural or worldly conduct. 2. Prescribed method. By practicing brahmacharya and other austerities of the student life. 2. Vedangas. These are 6 in number. A. Shiksha, the science of proper articulation and pronunciation. B. Kalpaha, rituals or ceremonies. C. Vyakarnam, grammar. D. Niruktam, etymological explanation of difficult Vedic words. E. Chandas, the science of prosody. F. Jyotisham, astronomy. 4. Journal, etc. Otherwise, there will be no necessity for his further study of the scriptures. 5. Previous birth. This is an explanation of the cases of Vidura and other sages who, though not endowed with scriptural knowledge, etc., were yet said to have attained the highest realization. These sages were born with purity and other requisites of realization as a result of their having undergone the required discipline in a past life. Stanza number 7. Kamyani Savargadist Sadhanani Jyotistumadini. The sacrifices such as Jyotistama etc., which enable their performer to get the desired fruits such as living in heaven etc., are known as Kamya Karma. 1. Jyotistama etc. Composition. The scriptural passage Jyotirishtaman Sarvakamo Yajet, with a view to go to heaven, perform the Jyotistama sacrifice. 2. Kamya Karma, those ceremonies which are performed with a definite motive or desire. Stanza number 8. Nisiddhani Narkade Nisht Sadhanani Brahman Hananadini. Actions such as the slaying of a Brahmin etc., which bring about undesired results as going to hell etc., are Nisiddha karma or forbidden acts. Slaying of a Brahmin etc., drinking and other vices are included too. Going to hell etc. Additional punishments include worldly afflictions etc. Stanza number 9. Nityani akarne partavaya sadhanani sandhya vandanadini. Daily rites such as Sandhya, Vandana, etc., the non-performance of which causes harm are called Nitya Karma. Sandhya, Vandana, etc., the morning, noon, and evening prayers of the three higher castes. Pancha Mahayajna, or the 5 daily sacrifices of a householder, are also included. 2. Harm. According to the Vedantist, the non-performance of Sandhya does not produce a new sin. The performance of Sandhya only checks the propensity to new sin. But according to the Mimamsakas, the non-performance of Sandhya produces new sin. Therefore, according to the Vedantist, the performance of Sandhya is not obligatory on a man immersed in Samadhi. Sandhya means the invocation of God by the recital etc. of certain Vedic mantras as well as the purification of mind. Stanza number 10. Nimittikani putar janmadun bandhini jateshtayadini. Jateshiti, sacrifices which are performed subsequent to the birth of a son etc. are called the Nemitika karma, or rites to be observed on special occasions. Jatesti Nemitika karma. The performance of these is obligatory for a householder. Stanza number 11. Prayaschittani pap akshay sadhanani chandrayani dini. Rites such as Chandrayana etc. which are instrumental in the expiation of sin are prayashchittas or penances, Chandrayana, etc. Regarding the four varieties of these penances, see Manusmriti, chapter 11, stanza 217 to 220. The Krichurus and other austerities are also included. Stanza number 12. उपासनानि सगुण ब्रह्मा विषया मानस व्यापार रूपाणी सांडिल्य विद्यादिनी mental activities relating to the Saguna Brahma such as are described in the Shandila Vidya or Upasanas or devotions. 1. Mental activities as distinguished from real knowledge, the upasana is distinct from jnanam or knowledge, as in the latter case all differences between the meditator and the object of meditation are obliterated. 2. Saguna Brahma, Brahma with attributes such as power of creation, etc. The word Saguna is used to make a distinction between mental activities, upasana, and complete absorption in the highest self, in which case all ideas of object are entirely effaced. 3. Shandilya Vidya. This is the famous chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad beginning with Sarvam Khalvidam Brahman. All this is verily Brahma, etc. Dahara Vidya, etc. Dahara Vidya is described in Chandogya Upanishad chapter 8, stanza 1 are also included. Stanza number 13. एतेषां नित्यादीनां बुद्धिशुद्धि परं प्रयोजनम् उपासनानां तु चित्तैकापर्यं तमेतमा आत्मनं वेद अनुवचनेन ब्रह्मणा विविदिशन्ति यज्ञेन इत्यादि श्रुते तपसा कल्मषं हन्ति. This is from Manusmriti. इत्यादि समर्थेश्च. Of these, Nitya and other works mainly serve the purpose of purifying the mind, but the Upasanas chiefly aim at the concentration of the mind, as in such Shruti passages, Brahmanas seek to know this self by the study of the Vedas, by sacrifice. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, as well as in such Smriti passages, they destroy sins by practicing austerities. Other works, the Naimittika and Prayaschitta works are included. Smriti, Nitya Naimittikari Kurvani Durit Akshayam, destroying sins by the performance of the Nitya and the Naimittika works. Gita chapter 18 stanza number 45. Sve sve karmani bhirte samsiddhi labte narah. Devoted each to his own duty, man attains the highest perfection. The following passage from the Naise Karmaya Siddhi shows how the performance of the Nitya Karma leads to the highest knowledge. The performance of the daily obligatory rites leads to the acquisition of virtue. This leads to the destruction of sin, which in turn results in the purification of the mind. This purification of the mind leads to the comprehension of the true nature of samsara or relative existence. From this results vairagyam, renunciation, which arouses a desire for liberation. From this desire results a search for its means. From it comes the renunciation of all actions. Thence the practice of yoga, which leads to an habitual tendency of the mind to settle in the self, and this results in the knowledge of the meaning of such Shruti passages as "Thou art that which destroys ignorance," thus leading to the establishment in one's own self. 2. But the word distinguishes the upasana from works. The mind can practice concentration or understand the subtle meaning of the Shastras only when it is purified by the performance of the Nitya and other works. It is the purified mind that can realize Brahma. 3. Sacrifice. The concluding portion of the passage is by gifts, by penance, and by fasting. Stanza 14. नित्य नैमित्तिकयो उपासनानां तव तवा अंतरफलम पितृलोक सत्यलोक प्राप्ति कर्मणा पितृलोक है विद्या देवलोक है इत्यादि श्रुते. The secondary results of the Nitya and the Naimittika karma and of the Upasanas are the attainment of the Pitriloka and the Satyaloka respectively, as in the Shruti passages. By sacrifice, the world of the fathers; by knowledge, Upasana, the world of the Devas is gained. 1. Nitya, etc. The, the Prayaschitta rites or penances have been excluded as they do not produce any result after death. But in the cases of the Nitya and the Naimittika works, additional results besides purification of heart have been mentioned in the scriptures. 2. Pitriloka, it belongs to the Bhuvur Loka. Stanza number 15. Sadhanani Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Mutrarth Fal Bhog Chirag Samadhi Satak Sampati Mumukstavani. The means to the attainment of knowledge are discrimination between things permanent and transient, renunciation of the enjoyment of the fruits of actions in this world and hereafter, six treasures such as control of the mind, etc., and the desire for freedom. Stanza 16. Nitya Nitya Vastu विवेक्स्त्वा है हवै नित्यं वस्तु ततो अनिद्यमुखल्लं नित्यमिति विवेचनम्. Discrimination between things permanent and transient. This consists of the discrimination that Brahma alone is permanent substance and that all things other than it are transient. Discrimination has been pointed out as the first sadhana, as without it renunciation is impossible. Permanent, unlimited by time, space, etc. 2. Transient, what is opposite to permanent. Stanza number 17. एही का नाम श्रीकंद चंदन वनिता दिवि विषय भोगानाम करम जन्ने तया नित्यतौ वदामो अस्मि कानामप्ये मृतादि विषय भोगानाम नित्यया तेभ्यो नित्राम विरतिः इह मूत्रार्थ फल भोग विरागः. The objects of enjoyment hereafter, such as immortality, etc., being as transitory as the enjoyment of such earthly objects as a garland of flowers, sandal paste, and sex pleasures, which are transitory, being results of action. An utter disregard for all of them is renunciation of the enjoyment of fruits of action in this world and hereafter. 1. Immortality. The word here means abode in heaven, which is as impermanent as the mundane existence. When the merit that has earned it is exhausted, the soul returns to the earth for a new birth. 2. Transitory. Abode in heaven is impermanent because it is the result of sacrifices, etc. तद्विहि विजति लोकः अक्षीयते एवमेव अमु पुण्य जितो लोकः अक्षीयते. And as here on earth, whatever has been acquired by exertion perishes, so perishes whatever is acquired for the next world by sacrifices and other good actions performed on earth. This is from Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 8, part 1, stanza number 6. A thing which has an origin cannot be permanent. Therefore, this passion should be practiced for all things, even for the highest that man may attain, the position of Brahma, which is also as impermanent as any earthly object. 3. Earthly, what is related to the existing body. 4. Utter. This is a particular tendency of the mind which dissuades the aspirant from such enjoyments. Renunciation has been enumerated as the second sadhana, as without it the practice of the third one is not possible. Stanza number 18. क्षमादया वस्तु शम दमो प्रतितिक्षा समाधान श्रद्धयाख्या. Shama etc. comprise Shama or the restraining of the outgoing mental propensities Dhamma, or the restraining of the external sense organs. Uparti, or the withdrawing of the self. Titiksha, or forbearance. Samadhana, or self-settledness. And Shraddha, or faith. Detailed explanations of these terms follow. The acquisition of these virtues is enjoined here, as without them the aspirant cannot feel eagerness for freedom. Stanza number 19. Sham Satavat Sarvanaadi Divyatirikt Viswebhyo Manso Nigrah. Shama is the curbing of the mind from all objects except hearing, etc. 1. Curbing, etc. Shama is that particular virtue or function of the mind which keeps it in check from the pursuit of worldly pleasures. 2. Hearing, etc. Hearing of the scriptures, thinking of their meaning, and meditating on it. Stanza number 20. Dhamma. Bahya indriyanam tadvyatirikt visebhyo nivartanam. Dhamma is the restraining of the external organs from all objects except that. 1. External organs. These are of two kinds, which of action and of knowledge. The 5 acting organs are those of speaking, grasping, going, evacuating, and generating. The 5 perceiving organs are those of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Mind is called the inner organ. Here the word Dhamma implies that particular function of the mind which turns away the external organs from such objects as are other than hearing, etc. That hearing, etc. Stanza number 21. निवर्तितानामे तेषां तद्व्यतिरिक्त विषेभ्य उपरमन्युमुपरतीर्थ्वा विहितानां कर्मणां विधिना परित्याग. Uparti is the cessation of these external organs so restrained from the pursuit of objects other than that, or it may mean the abandonment of the prescribed works according to scriptural injunctions. Cessation, etc. Uparti is that function of the mind which keeps the restrained organs from drifting back to the objects of the senses. 2. That hearing, etc. See note 2 on para 19. 3. Or it may mean, as the word Uparti according to the first definition differs very little from Shama and Dhamma. The alternative definition is given to make the meaning precise. Abandonment. According to this definition, the word Uparti means sannyasa, or entering into the fourth order. Like the practice of Shama, etc., the aspirant must accept the vow of monasticism as the essential sadhana for the attainment of knowledge. By renunciation alone some attained immortality. purified through the practice of sannyasa. He attained the supreme perfection by renunciation. So Shrutis and Smritis support the view, and that reason supports it is quite obvious. Prescribed works, such obligatory works as Sandhya, Agnihotra sacrifice, etc. 6. According to etc., this is to warn against the abandonment of works through laziness or other tamasic propensities. Stanza number 22. Titiksha Shito Oshan Div Sahinshunuta. Titiksha is the endurance of heat and cold and other pairs of opposites. Endurance, etc. Being unruffled by pleasures and pain arising from heat and cold, which are the inevitable associates of the body, by meditating on the pure self, which is always free from these dual thrones. 2. Other pairs, they include respect and contumely, gain and loss, weal and woe, etc. सहनम सर्वदुखान प्रतीकार पूर्वकम चिंता विलास पर हितम सा तितिक्षा निगद्यते. The bearing of all afflictions without caring to redress them, being free at the same time from anxiety or lament on their score is called titiksha or forbearance. Vivek Chudamani. Stanza 24. Stanza 23. निगृहीतस्य मनसः सर्वणोद्दो तदनु गुण विषय समाधि समाधानम. Samadhana is the constant concentration of the mind, thus restrained on hearing, etc. of the scriptural passages and other objects that are conducive to these. Other objects, such virtues as modesty, humility, etc., are meant, or they may mean the service of the Guru, compiling of the Vedantic books, their preservation, etc. Stanza 24. गुरु उपदिष्ट वेदांत वाक्येषु विश्वास श्रद्धा. Shraddha is the faith in the words of Vedanta as taught by the Guru. Faith, Gita, Mahabharata, and other scriptures enjoin that a spiritual practice without faith does not produce the requisite effect. Mumukstvam Mokshecha. Mumukstvam is the yearning for freedom. When the aspirant is equipped with three above mentioned sadhanas, he cannot but have a strong desire for liberation. Then also does he become fit to receive from the spiritual guide the absolute knowledge. एवं भूतः परमाताधिकारी शांतो दान्तः इत्यादि श्रुते उक्तश्च प्रशांत चित्ताय जितेन्द्रियाय च परहीना दोषाय यथोक्तकारिणो गुणान्विताय अनुगताय सर्वदा पर्दे में तित सतंतम मुमुक्षुवे इति. This is from Updesh Sahasri of Adi Sankaracharya. Such as an aspirant is a qualified student, for it is said in the Shruti passages quite subdued Brihadarnika Upanishad. chapter 4, part 4, stanza number 23. It is further said, this is always to be taught to one who is of tranquil mind, who has subjugated his senses, who is free from faults, obedient, endowed with virtues, always submissive, and who is eager for liberation. This is from Upadesha Sahasri 1. Such endowed with qualifications mentioned above, such as Shama, Dama, etc., one commentator opines that a monk alone is qualified to receive the highest knowledge, as the householder has no leisure for the study of Vedanta, etc., on account of his being preoccupied with various ritualistic functions, quiet, etc. The Shruti is cited as a scriptural evidence of Sama, etc., being considered as prerequisites of knowledge. The complete passage is तद्वादेव विच्छान्तो दान्त उपर्तितिक्षु समाहितो भूत्वा अन्वे आत्मानं पश्यति. He therefore that knows it after having become quiet, subdued, satisfied, patient, and collected sees self in self. From this passage have been taken Shama, Dama, Uparti, Titiksha, and Samadhana of the text. The above quotation of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is according to the Kanv recension. The Madhyadina recension substitutes Shrinkhavito Bhutva in place of Samadhan. Therefore, the author of the Vedantsara has combined the two recensions and enumerated the 6 qualifications mentioned as Shama, Dama, etc. 3. Faults, passions, etc. 4. Obedient, or the word in the text may mean one who relinquishing the kamya and the nishiddha works performs only the daily obligatory duties, and that also for the satisfaction of the Lord. Virtues such as discrimination, renunciation, forbearance, etc. 6. Submissive, always devoted to the service of the Guru, which is one of the greatest requisites for the attainment of knowledge. Upadesha Sahasri, a treatise ascribed to Shankara, that is Adi Shankaracharya. Stanza number 27. विषय जीव ब्रह्म एकम शुद्ध चैतन्यम परमेयम तत्र एव वेदांतानाम तात्पर्यात्. The subject is the identity of the individual self and Brahma, which is of the nature of pure intelligence and is to be realized. For such is the purport of Vedant text. Subject. After dealing with the first Anubandha with the qualifications of the aspirant, the text proceeds with the other 3 Anubandhas, identity, etc. The identity of Jiva and Brahma is the essential doctrine of the Advaita Vedanta. 3. Pure intelligence, the state of homogeneity wherein all attributes are transcended. The point to be realized, which is also the object of the Vedanta, is the identity of Brahma, Saguna, and Jiva by the elimination of their respective attributes such as omniscience or omniscience or limited knowledge, etc., superimposed by ignorance. The result will be a state of pure intelligence wherein all ideas of separation and variety are effaced. The word pure intelligence is mentioned in the text in order to refute the contention that the Jiva and Brahma, which are essentially different in nature, may yet remain in a state of unity like milk and water. 4. Such etc. Kapila, Kanada and other philosophers conclude that the object of Vedanta is to prove the existence of pradhana, etc. But when considered in its entirety, it becomes clear that the object of Vedanta is to establish Brahma. Sarve Veda Yat Padma Mananti. That goal which all the Vedas declare. This is from Katha Upanishad, chapter 1, part 2, stanza number 15. So I conclude this video at this stage. Next video number 2, I will start with stanza number 27. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you.